Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Talkn Tennis podcast, the only tennis podcast you need to be listening to get your tennis fix as we sift through the carnage of Roland Garros with the tournament turned upside down with some of the biggest names in the tournament bowing out early. I won't be here to cover it alone, though. I'm joined, as always, by my two partners in crime. Firstly, the man to my virtual left who is heading up the legal case against Roland Garros organisers on behalf of Team Zeynep. It's Chrissy P. How are you, Chris?
Good evening, Adam. Doing well as always. I'm glad to be in your company, and my goodness gracious me, what a sight! Turkey was a wreck last week when Zeynep went down with that injury, and we only have one organisation to blame, which I'm sure we're going to uncover later. But it was a sad day, and I hope she's alright because we want to see her back on the tour as quickly as possible.
We certainly do. Injuries are plenty in Roland Garros, and we're gonna cover it all tonight. We're gonna cover it with my other partner in crime, the man to my virtual left. We're very happy he's here tonight because he jets off to Monaco first thing tomorrow morning on the red eye to teach and show Jannik Sinner how to play without cramping. It's Vajos. How are you, Adrian?
I'm good, thank you. Very glad to be here with you fine gentlemen. And wow, what's going on with Yannick and the heat and cramping and getting handouts from referees? They have to come down off the chair and instruct him on what to do and when he can take his medical timeouts. And what an absolute farce this has been. From the tournament organisers to Yannick and his body. In a way, I'm kind of glad it happened because it's opened up the men's side to some fresh blood, which has been very interesting.
It certainly has been very interesting. I think Jannik going out early in the tournament has just thrown up all the names and all the contenders who could win it. So it's been exciting to see. I did want to talk about Sinner as well, lads. I'm sure everybody is caught up to speed, but we were recording the pod last week, weren't we? And we were giving live score updates as well throughout the match. If you go back and listen to last week's pod, we were doing that. And last I heard, Sinner was up 3-0 in the third set. We finished recording the pods. We went upstairs and all ready to hit the hay, and then suddenly we were watching Chris, one of the greatest. I don't know. What do you even call it? A spectacle, an event. Sinner was leading 5-1 in that third set before his body just was cramping all around. He lost 18 points in a row, drops that third set 7-5, and then goes on to lose 6-1, 6-1. Chris, you've got a minor degree in human studies and biology, so please enlighten the audience on whether Sinner can do anything about this cramping situation. Some are saying it's genetics. I don't buy it, but please give us your expertise.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talk about Sinner a lot and how great he is as a player and, what's his weakness, but I think the environment is his weakness, and we've seen it at the Australian Open. We've seen it now in Paris. It's not just a fluke, but I think with Sinner in the heat, people are probably making it too simple when they say, "Oh, he just can't handle the hot conditions." I don't think it's that he's unfit. He's clearly one of the best conditioned players in the world, but what we're seeing is that when the temperatures get up to around the 30-degree plus mark, especially in Grand Slam matches, his body just seems to hit a different kind of stress point. So I think the big thing is with cramps is that the old explanation used to be like you sweat, you lose salt, and then you start to dehydrate, and then you cramp. But that can definitely play a role. But the science now says that cramping is often more neuromuscular fatigue, and basically the muscles and nervous system get pushed beyond what they can control properly, and then the muscles start to lock up. So I think with tennis, it's brutal that it's not just jogging around. You're sprinting, you're stopping, you're sliding, you're lunging, serving. You're doing all these sorts of dynamic movements as well, and you're doing it in the best of 5 sets and in extremely hot conditions. So your body is trying to cool itself down while producing these explosive movements every point, and that's where Sinner's style starts becomes important as well. He plays such a high tempo baseline game, takes the ball early, he redirects pace, he defends hard, he does all these things that what makes him such a terrific player. So if the heat starts taking away his legs, it doesn't just affect his fitness, it affects the whole game. And now, look, you can bring up the stuff that he grew up in northern Italy, in the colder alpine areas, and he's a serious skier when he was younger. We know this about him. So compared to someone who grew up training in extreme heat all the time, maybe he isn't naturally as heat adapted compared to others. So I wouldn't say he, was a skier, therefore he couldn't play in the heat. I think that's probably just a bit too simplistic. His heat tolerance, it can be trained. The fact that I've seen some comments like, okay, he's ginger, he's red hair, that might play a part as well. Gingers and the sun, they don't get along. But the red hair thing is interesting as well. So there is actual science around the red hair genetics and differences in pain or temperature sensitivity, but there isn't a lot of strong evidence that red hair or ginger athletes cramp more or overheat more. So I wouldn't make that the main argument, but it's an interesting side note than the reason. The stronger explanation is this, though. In hot conditions, Sinner's body is under, I'd say, probably extra thermal or cardiovascular stress. That makes every rally more expensive for him than if he's even slightly off, maybe low energy, poor sleep, illness, and not enough fuel, not enough heat acclimatation as well. The margin disappears, and once the legs start fatiguing, the body begins cramping. So for me, Sinner's issue in the heat, I'd say, isn't mental weakness. It's not that he doesn't want enough. It looks like more of a thermoregulation and neuromuscular fatigue problem. So the heat pushes his body closer to the edge, and because his game depends so heavily on explosive movements and perfect timing, once that go, then everything sort of unravels. So that's my take on the whole Sinner thing. It's very dynamic.
And I think on that point, with it can be trained, that's something I'm sure you would have thought after the Aussie Open that it would have been something he would have been training to. And I think now, more than ever, he would be training in heat. But I do want to say that these athletes, some tennis players drink an espresso during changeover. Others take, chow down on a banana. I've seen the banana contains potassium, which helps with the cramping. Is that right, Chris, as well?
Yep.
And I'm sure players take all kinds of legal supplements to help replenish the needs of their bodies. So, they have their drinks, they have their supplements to help regulate how their body's reacting to the game or the match that they're in. And I'm sure Jannik is doing that too, but it's so strange that what's going on with him. I know he blamed it on sleep and just not feeling right and not feeling 100%, but I don't think anyone's buying it.
Yeah. If it's happened twice now, similar conditions, hot weather, 35 degrees, long slugfest, it's happened twice now. I don't think you can just blame it on sleep.
No, you definitely can't, and it's such a nuanced area as well. I mean, he's got a professional coaching staff around him, so it's not as if he has the same dietary plan or nutritional supplementation plan for every single game. It would have to vary a lot with obviously temperature and environment, things of that nature, where every game and match would be different. So I'd say, alter maybe your supplementation or do something different, but you got to assume he's doing that already. He's the best player in the world, and you got to expect he's got a whole team of people, looking for the solution, and they've probably known about this for years, where this is his weakness. So they've got a bit of work to do. Probably not for Wimbledon because it's not particularly warm, but when AO rolls around next year,
should be fine for Wimbledon.
You'd imagine so. If that's his weakness, it's going to play into his strengths.
So is it a matter of just trying different things, do you think, Chris, in terms of supplements, salt tablets, whatever it might be, remedies to try and prevent that happening to his body? Or is it more of he's actually got to try and train and play in those conditions more often, maybe even like acclimatise to those sort of conditions? I saw some stuff online about maybe you should just pack up and move to Florida for a year. Not the
Yeah,
most stupidest thing, because you're like, well, yeah, go live there for a bit and go get up and live in the heat and train in the heat and live in the heat, die in the heat. Will that help?
well, I think something needs to change at the end of the day. So whatever he's currently doing with his training system, something needs to change, or else the same thing is just going to keep repeating itself. So whether that's a dietary or nutrition side of things, or where he's spending more of his time in at his training camp, what those conditions look like as well. Maybe that needs to be factored in. So maybe it's not. Yeah, it needs to be probably. You would think just train in the heat, because if you can play in the heat, then you can probably play in the cold or in lesser warmer conditions as well. But again, if you're used to playing in the heat, then it's going to be faster conditions. So that may alter your game. So a lot of factors to consider.
Certainly throws up a question mark or a bit of doubt the next time it won't happen at Wimbledon, but potentially at the US Open if they get hot conditions, definitely in the AO next year if we get to those high 30s. If he's scheduled to play and we're seeing temps in the mid to high 30s, the first thing people are going to think is, can he actually go the distance? Is his body going to be able to take him there? And if you're his opponent, first thing you're going to be thinking is, I'm just going to make this match go as long as possible. So suddenly after what's happened, there's we found the chink in his armour, and if he's playing in those hot conditions, it's suddenly, I don't know, if you're his opponent, surely that gives you a little bit of a boost going into playing him if you're coming up in hot conditions, I would have thought.
Do you
And you
think?
also got to think,
Sorry.
will the tournament organisers look after him
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
100%
That's
they
exactly
will.
what
But if it's a hot day,
Oh.
it's a hot day. Like,
I don't know. I
he
don't know if they'll
chose
look after him.
we talked about this last week. He wanted to go on first because it was 11 a.m. It was going to be the coldest part of the day. He didn't want to go in the evening because it was going to hit the high temps at about 4 5 p.m. that day. He didn't want to go on at night unless they closed the roof. And that's what he got bailed out at the Aussie Open because of the closed roof. We haven't seen any closed roof here at French Open. The heat rule hasn't come in. That would be his only chance where he gets to that extreme conditions where they shut the roof and try and cool down those temps. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't think that they'll look after him. I think now, because it's so obvious that he can't play in the extreme heat, that if they put him on at night or at any stage just try and make him avoid playing in the heat, it's not going to be good optics for the organisers. It will just look like they're trying to protect him. And I think people want to see drama. I think people want to see upsets as well, or see more of a challenge contest. And I think the organisers might be a bit more inclined to put him on, just throw him on round 1 or round 2 early on during a day, again, in a match where he's supposed to win convincingly. So I'd say it's more probable than not at the AO next year, in the early rounds, assuming he's number 1 or 2 in the world, I'm sure he will be, and it's hot, he'll get the day games, open roof.
I think
I respectfully disagree.
I think if this tournament, is anything to go by, that umpire climbing down off the chair, instructing him when he can take the medical timeout for cramps. But taking one for cramps is actually not within the rules, is it?
That's correct, yes.
But she gave him that way out, which he didn't ask for, to be fair, but they still did it. So, and I'm sure it's not just the umpires thing. Is it something a bit more sinister? Do the umpires, are they receiving instruction from the tournament organisers who are maybe have had their hands full, let's say, with a few things that have gone on this tournament, which...
Oh, they've had their hands full, Adrian. I was going to save that one for later. Chris, to your
Oh,
point, um, the tournament has a vested interest to keep Sinner in for as
why?
long as he can in the tournament. They don't want to say. I know I agree with what you're saying around contest and whatever, but they want him in.
Why?
And
Why?
you said this last week. He's the draw. He's the top name. People go to see Sinner. Most of the people that go to the AO are casual fans. You know it. I know it. We go to that outside area. They're all in the piss, those people. They're not even watching anything. It's just Sinner's a draw. Sinner's a name for the casual audience. I'm going to go and watch the best player in the world, Jannik Sinner. And you said it last week. The best players always get drawn at night. Didn't happen last week, but that was because Sinner apparently requested the day game. So if it's up to the AO, he's getting scheduled at night every single time. Same thing used to happen with Djokovic when he was number one and he was always getting those night games. He was getting protected because he had the same issues in the, dealing with the heat and avoiding having to play during the day.
Well, I think the only thing that might make a difference is the new Tennis Australia CEO and where his head is at and how he interprets this whole thing through a new set of eyes on the game. So we'll see. We'll see in 6 months' time how this plays out.
We will timestamp this episode and we will come back to it. The CEO's a rugby guy, so take that for what it is. I don't know if he even knows what we're talking about.
Well,
Lads, let's talk about some tennis. He knows the game. I hope so because he's the CEO.
I was going to say not necessarily the game though. He knows CEO responsibilities. I mean, being CEO of rugby, so
making money and selling tickets.
Correct. Chaos.
Well, let's hope they don't do what the US Open have done with the Craig Tiley effect of just turning prices into an absolute nightmare.
Turning into a postcode.
Joke. Yeah.
Yep. Craig Tiley effect. Fully underway. I don't know what it is with America. The soccer tickets for the World Cup are through the roof. It's just everything is just ridiculously expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Lads, let's talk about some tennis. There were some cracking matches on last night, and some of Chris's favourites have been dominating all week. We will start, Adrian, with one of your men, Jakub Mensik. He's into his first Grand Slam semi-final with the 20-year-old Czech taking down 19-year-old Brazilian sensation João Fonseca 6-4, 6-3, 7-6 in just under 2 hours and 45 minutes. It was billed as the Battle of the Young Guns, and Mensik came out on top even after Fonseca dug in and forced a third set tiebreaker. It's been a hell of a run to get there for Mensik. He survived a 4-hour and 41-minute war with Mariano Navoni in the second round, edging a fifth set tiebreak before collapsing on the clay with cramps. He's not the only one who suffered from cramp this tournament, Jannik Sinner. Adrian, you'll be happy to know Mensik got bageled 6-love in the opening set against Alex de Minaur and somehow flipped the script to win that match in 4. And then in the round of 16, he outlasted Andrei Rublev across 5 brutal sets. The kid refuses to go away, and now he meets Alexander Zverev on Friday for a place in the final. Spare a thought, though, for João Fonseca. What a hell of a tournament that he had. He came back from 2 sets to love down, of course, to beat Novak Djokovic in a 5-set classic, and then backed it up by taking out the informed Casper Ruud in 4 sets as well. He also had another escape where he came back from 2 sets to love down to beat your man Adrian Dino Prismic in the second round. That was the first quarterfinal, and then Alexander Zverev also won overnight, taking care of Spanish young gun Rafa Llora 7-6, 6-1, 6-3. Zverev, in my mind, is firming as the favourite for this tournament. He's had a much easier time of it, with Llora being the first seeded player that he's had to play so far this tournament. Zverev's only dropped the 1 set as well, all tournament, which came in the third round against Frenchman Quinton Hales. Was another terrific tournament for a young gun, Rafa Llora, in his first Grand Slam, making a hell of a clay season for him, which started way back in Marrakesh and then backed up with semi-final appearances at Barcelona and then 2 quarter-final appearances at Madrid and Rome. Chris, I know you've been hyping up these next-gen stars for a while. Just give us your thoughts on Fonseca, Yotta, and the matches overnight, and just how you saw their tournaments.
Well, I think from these young players, they've showed a lot of character as well, and they're really living up to their hype and reputation. The way they've gone about their game as well, some coming from 2 sets to love down, or sometimes having really emphatic wins, getting big wins as well, knocking off some big names. You know, Hoda, I can't remember a person coming on and making such a scene and a rise in the rankings so quickly. In the space of a couple of months, this guy has come from absolutely nowhere to making, what do you make, the quarters. And what a just a great story. I seriously thought a couple of weeks ago that, you know, when he made the, I forgot the Masters, what was it? Like the
Madrid and Rome quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals. I thought like it would just, you know, be there and then just downhill and then just like level out. But he just kept going and going. So good on him. Fonseca, I think it's a great tournament for him because he's coming back from injury as well. So there were question marks on his fitness, and not so much his fitness, but the health of his back as well, and how he'd hold up over 2 weeks. And I think he'd be very happy with how deep of a run he's made. And it's a shame we didn't get to see Blocks as well, because he was looking good. You know, it's unfortunate the way he went down. And who else? So Fonseca, great. You know, Yotta, Mensik as well. He's been forgotten as well. He's just been shadowed because of these even younger guys coming through. So he's just been slipping under the radar. He didn't have the greatest lead up as well. That's why, again, he's gone under the radar. But it's good to see him, you know, making a record for himself and getting into the semis where, where I like his chances against Zverev. He'll test Zverev.
Yeah, I think with that, as you boys know, I'm heavily invested in the Czechos and the Croats. But particularly the young Czech boys. They're just something going on there. Probably in the waters, not as much as what's going on in the Italian waters, but still pretty decent with the young chaps there. Just on that, Fonseca, he had a bit of a nightmare draw. Imagine facing and seeing Djokovic early on, and then knowing you'd have to come up against Ruud and the likes. So that wasn't easy, let alone the
not
Dino
to take
Kuzmic.
Not to take anything from Rafa Yotta, but when you go back and look at his draw compared to Fonseca, it was chalk and cheese. Fonseca had the absolute worst nightmare draw you could ask for, and I think he held himself really well. There was, at the end of the day, when you come up, 2 5-setters and then a 4-setter against Ruud, of all people, who we all picked as the winner of the tournament last week outside of Sinner. So nothing, not to take anything away from Yotta yet, but for me, Fonseca just had an arsehole of a draw, and I thought he did really, really well to get as far as he did. He's one to watch, definitely, for the future.
Definitely. And like Chris said, Mensik as well, he hasn't gone under our radar. We're very aware of his capabilities, but as it was mentioned, he's come in not the greatest form, maybe say compared to a Yotta. But he's shown some real grit. He's shown that he can win, and you got to really like his chances against Zverev. Very similar players, strong serves, great from the baseline, solid backhand. But showed that he can win ugly and show some grit, come back, play some brutal 5-setters, struggled with cramping, that bageled 6-love against Demonor. Well, it kind of explains itself. He finished that epic 5-setter and was, I think his body just took a bit, and then once his body got aligned, then he just took over. And then he's showing his class. So, which is, I'm just really impressed with his game, and I'm really liking his chances.
not sure if he faced match points against Navoni, but he won that fifth set tiebreaker 13-11 in the second round. So a couple of points goes a different way. You're out of the tournament. It's nuts how things can change quickly. Age, to your point, his form hasn't been great. Mensik, that is. He lost in Hamburg last week in the round of 16 against Buse, and then in the Italian Open, he lost to our man, Alexei Poprin. Poprin pinched that one, obviously. Madrid, we go back to the tournament before that. Mensik and Zverev, Chris Metz in the round of 16, where Zverev took that one in 3 sets. Which I guess leads me to my next question. Who are you picking in this first semi-final to make the final?
Look, I'm a man of science, and the science tells you that Mensik is fucking tired, and his body's just gonna, give out. And he's got youth on his side, and that can take you very far, but I just don't think it's far enough. And Zverev is just way fresher. He's played way less sets, way less time on court. Not to necessarily say he's the better player, but when they're both ready to go, but I'd say Zverev would be my pick against Mensik.
It's tough to draw the line between where my heart lies and what my head says. And my head is saying Zverev, but my heart wants Mensik to win, obviously. But...
So it's a 50-50 bet is what I'm taking that then.
Yeah, I mean, Chris makes a good point. It's Zverev is a lot fresher. But then again, Mensik has shown that he has what it takes to beat quality opponents. He won ATP 1000 tournament last year. I think defeated Djokovic, or I think in the final of that. He knows how to beat top-tier players. And there's also the fact that is Zverev nearing the end and will he choke?
Yep.
There's that factor as well, which I'm also...
So if he can get through a semi-final, he chokes in the final. There's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's more so knowing, though, that you don't have Alcaraz and Sinner on the other side waiting. He knows he's just... Like, they're not there. They're not waiting for
I feel like... I spoke about this a few weeks back. I feel like Zverev goes into his matches against Sinner already defeated. I think it's an issue with Sinner. I don't think it's an issue with Zverev. I think Zverev's got the issue with Sinner. He sees Sinner, and he goes in 3-love down before the matches even started. Everyone else, he's fine. He beats everybody else. How many matches has he dropped this year that you'd say he shouldn't have dropped? I can't even think of any. I'm sure there's a match or two where he probably shouldn't have lost that, but for the most part.
I'm going to try and find it, but please go on, and I'll chime in when I have it.
Yeah, well,
I'll tell you what.
I'm looking at the two sides of the draw. The Mensik Zverev match is way stronger. It looks like this, to me, this should be the final. He's coming up against, Kaboli, I know is ranked 10, but his run has just been pretty bit of a joke. Everyone on this top bracket, their run is just...
Adrian, you take Fonseca and Yoda and throw them in that same pot. All four of them could have mixed and matched for a final. Like it was complete. The draw was completely backwards. It was stacked. Everyone was stacked to one side, which was the Zverev side of things. It was
Berrettini and Analdi in a semi-final.
Chris is going to give me a Zverev matchup, and then I'm going to talk about the 2 quarterfinal matches, Adrian, that are taking place tonight. More of your countrymen, because you're a man of many nationalities. I'm looking forward to this match, the first one. Flavio Caboli against Felix Auger-Aliassime. Caboli leads the head-to-head in that one 2-zip, but both those matches were on hard courts in 2024, and these two men have never yet met on clay. Auger-Aliassime, I'm surprised he's gotten this far in the tournament. He arrives as the 4th seed of this tournament and the first Canadian to reach the last 8 at all 4 Grand Slams, but he's done it the hard way, dropping sets in 3 of his 4 matches. and surviving a fifth set tiebreak against Daniel Atamaia in round one, where he was a whisker away from going out as well. So he's done it tough, but he's got here, whereas Caboli's quietly built a strong clay season of his own into his second major quarterfinal. And then Age, as you touched on, two of your countrymen, Berrettini and Arnoldi. It's an all-Italian quarterfinal, and it's the first time three Italians have made a quarterfinal of a Grand Slam, which is crazy when you think that Sinner and Musetti aren't even in those three. So it could have 5 of the 8 maybe one day. It's the Battle of the Mateos. Berrettini is back at the French Open quarterfinal for the first time since 2021, and his first Slam quarterfinal anywhere since 2022 US Open. The big serving Italian is finally healthy after years of hand and ankle injuries troubling his momentum. He's looked the part as well, rolling through the draw and closing out a win against Juan Manuel Cerundolo in straight sets in the 4th round. Arnoldi's into his first Grand Slam quarterfinal of his career, but he's done it the hard way, needing at least 4 sets in every single match that he's played, and he survived an epic match against Francis Tiafoe, one of Chris's favourites that ran beyond 5 hours. Arnoldi, get this, he's been on court 18 hours this tournament and has played 8 tiebreakers throughout the tournament. So the poor guy must be absolutely knackered. So the big question will be, Adrian, whether he has anything left in his legs. Adrian, give me your thoughts on your countrymen. I can't believe they're all here. Caboli I'm not surprised with. The others I am, and Auger-Aliassime.
Yeah, Aliassime, like we said, that whole draw, that side of the draw is just, yeah, you're right, it's backwards. But Felix has surprised me that he's made it this far. The strength of the draw has definitely been in his favour. Caboli quietly going about his business, at least his last match in 4 sets, but you look back, 3 sets, 3 sets. Yeah, 3 sets. He hasn't been out there. He's been dismantling his.
He's been in cruise control.
Yeah, much lower ranked players. The Berrettini and Arnoldi will be interesting watch. You've got 2, not up and comers, because Berrettini's been there before, but Berrettini's playing a lot differently. He's playing like he's got nothing to lose. He's playing a lot more free. He's taking balls early. He's doing that 1-2 punch to end points. He's shortening the points definitely, which is harder to do on clay, but he's finding a way to do it. Again, his side of the draw has definitely helped him.
Definitely.
The Cerundolo that he played is, I don't know, in my mind, not much chop. Big whoop. He beat him. He gives a crap.
You were ragging on him all. You were ragging on him all night against Jannik Sinner.
I was. I'm like, I'm surprised he actually held his nerve to actually close out the match, even though Jannik was just freaking crawling on the other side of it.
To him, he didn't shit the bed with the situation. You could easily just go all tight and bottle it, but he held his nerve. He beat a man on one leg.
He did. But yeah, so I think, Berrettini's playing, a lot more free. I think, like you said, all those injuries have definitely weighed him down. Is this the resurgence of Berrettini? Will we see him now at the tail end of Grand Slams and Masters tournaments? Or will he, go back to the form that he's had in the last few years, the injury-riddled form? Arnoldi, I obviously know about Arnoldi. He's had a long run during this tournament, but prior to this, can't say I've seen a lot of his matches, prior to this tournament, a few here and there, but not too much in terms of his game. But very interesting. A high chance of an Italian being in the final, unless Felix can spoil the Italian party. I think Caboli makes it out of that bracket. I think he'll take care of Felix, and I think Caboli will dismantle the winner of Berrettini and Arnoldi. Is my pick. for that top bracket. I would love a Mensik Kaboli final. Would love
Oh,
it.
Imagine
that's a
that.
win-win for Adrian.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Chris, are you in agreement with Adrian's thoughts?
Yeah, Kaboli looks really good. I was watching the match against Kaboli versus Teen, and Teen wasn't playing that well, but Kaboli just made him look fucking second rate, and he could do no wrong. He was playing on easy mode, and he's had a good couple of months. Let's just put it that way, and he's got a good opportunity, a good draw ahead of himself, good matchups where he can make a serious name. Well, he's already got a name for himself, but let's just say he can have a decent accolade next to his name in a few days' time if he continues to play his best. So yes, I am in agreement with Age on that one. I would say, yeah, Kaboli. I just want to get the draw up, and yeah, I'd say Kaboli is winning that top half, and yeah, in the final, I'm going to go Kaboli Zverev because I did say Zverev would beat Mensik, so Kaboli Zverev final.
Either way, we're getting a first-time Grand Slam winner. So, Chris, put you on the spot. It's Kaboli or Zverev? Who's winning?
It's going to be Zverev. I'm going to say, I'm really going to hope he doesn't choke. I hope he doesn't choke for his sake, man. I mean, I can't imagine the guy, if he does choke, he gets to the final and just absolutely bottles it. What? He'd be on suicide watch, man, I tell you. Fucking hell.
You're not going to get a better opportunity than this tournament, not just for him, but for guys like Felix, for Kaboli. Like, this is Kaboli's best surface. He's going to have blessed run. You can get a walkthrough, pretty much, not a walkthrough, but, an easy ride into a final. Man, if you're ever going to win a Grand Slam, and if you're Kaboli, you're 23 years old, trying to crack into that top 10, here's your chance to do something. So somebody's going to have to take the mantle and take the opportunity while it presents himself. Adrian, who's your pick? Who are you picking?
I think the winner of Zverev and Mensik will win. I think they're both mentally stronger than anyone in that top half when it comes to the final. I think Mensik has what it takes, and I think Zverev obviously has what it takes. I think Zverev is going to win this tournament.
Yeah.
But again, I don't want that to happen, but I think that's what's happening. But yeah, like I said, I think Zverev will win, but if Mensik wins that semi, I think Mensik will win the final.
The winner's coming from that side. No one giving Felix a chance?
No.
Nah.
I do want to take the time to read out the stat that I had to really scroll hard to find. I was about to give up. I do want to give credit to the Reddit handle of Dependent Effect 6077. So good work in finding this. Zverev's record since Vienna 2025 is 0-7 against Sinner. 0-1 against Alcaraz. He is 42-5 against everyone else.
That's my point.
Yeah, that's fucking very good. So, yeah, you got to think he's gonna win Roland Garros if the stat.
He's been very consistent, particularly this season.
Yep.
He's been really consistent. Worth noting, he did lose to Kaboli back in Munich a couple of months back.
He did redeem himself that next tournament.
Against
They
Kaboli,
faced
yes,
off
he
again,
did.
and
Yeah,
then
they
he
did.
took care of business. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, generally he's like, he doesn't lose to players that he shouldn't lose to. So, but it could all also come crumbling down for him on the day, because we'll get to the final and the pressure will be on. So we will see. It's made for an interesting tournament, that's for sure. Lads, we'll jump on the women's side. It's been interesting on this side as well. A few upsets. In the last few days. We'll start with the matches that wrapped up overnight. We're on 9Gem as well, Channel 95 for our Australian viewers. Fantastic. Free tennis. You don't need your Tennis TV lifetime all-time subscription for that one. So that was good. Mira Andreeva, she booked her place in the semi-finals with a ruthless display, brushing aside 36-year-old Sorana Cristea 6-0, 6-3 in just 56 minutes. It puts the teenager into the final four at a major for the second time in her career. Remarkably, both have come at Roland Garros 2 years apart. The contest carried a quirky bit of history too, marking the largest age gap in a women's Grand Slam singles quarterfinals since Navratilova and Capriati at Wimbledon back at 1991, with a 17-year age gap as well. So I thought that was interesting. And then after that was the all-Ukrainian quarterfinal between Kostyuk and Svitolina. Kostyuk got the better of her compatriot, winning that one 6-3, 2-6, 6-2 to book her place in the semi-finals, taking her clay record to an astonishing 17 zip this season, which included Adrian, the big scalp of the tournament favourites, according to some, Iga Swiatek in the fourth round. Marta broke serve 6 times across the match, and after dropping the middle set, steadied and pulled away in the decider to reach what is comfortably the biggest stage of her career. A huge result for her on the Paris clay. Chris, you picked Andreeva to win this tournament last week. I'm sure you're sticking with your selection. And how have you seen her run so far?
Well, quite emphatic, as you said, against her last match against Castella. Absolutely dominated her as well. It's her time. It's the youth, the next gen. They're coming through. It's her time. So I don't need to say anything more than that. So all the best to her. Sticking with her.
Fair enough. So she's going to beat Kostyuk?
I hope so. I'm getting tired of seeing Kostyuk, to be honest. She's on my shit list.
Oh,
Wow.
why?
What did she do to you, Chris?
I think what tipped me over the edge is her dancing on court when she was playing Swiatek. Swiatek goes for a change of clothes and she's dancing. Fuck off. Just
Doesn't take much to
no, it doesn't. It really doesn't. But then I understand.
Because
like,
Sabalenka was doing it.
No, well, yeah, well, she's already on my shit list. I mean, that's permanent. You know, she's not getting that ticked off or erased. But the whole war as well, and with Ukraine, her and the other Ukrainian player, Linkimova, I can't pronounce her name, but every time they go on the press conference, they're talking about the war, and obviously it's terrible. I understand it hits close to home for them, but just you're here to play tennis. They're always talking about it. And we know, obviously, it's unimaginable how difficult it is to what they're going through. But I don't see why they need to constantly bring it up when they're there to play tennis. And especially with the comments from Alinkimova as well, you know, calling out other players as well who have played in Russian tournaments and exhibitions. And I think it was Schneider who she had to play. It's getting out of hand. So we all know it's bad. We all know it's terrible. Why are you talking about it? It's not a platform.
I think it highlights that there's more to life than tennis. There are more important things, and this is their job. And what other way do they have? And I get. I saw the Kostyuk her statements about how it's been going on for so long, and people just kind of forget as time goes on. It's so easy to forget. So I think people need a reminder, you know, in that as well. There's a reason why a lot of those players from Russia still don't have their flag displayed. I think, yeah, it can be overlooked and forgotten, and you know, there's a bit of a reminder. I get it can be, I don't know what the correct word would be, frustrating for things to be kept being brought up, but I don't know, there's more important things than tennis, and I think that's what they're trying
I
say.
get the whole reminder part, but I think it goes beyond reminding when it's just constant every time. And Kostyuk's gone out of her way to go on different podcasts and say, to a certain extent, that she'd go and harm people from Russia. Like, she'd physically hurt them. So, I don't know, that speaks volumes in itself. I mean, I could understand your anger and, disdain for a country for what they've done to yours, but to go out and say, I want to hurt, or I would hurt people from that country, whether they are in alliance with what their country has done, you need to have a bit more broader perspective than what she's saying. So it's just constant with her. So I don't like her.
I think
Fair
that's
enough.
another conversation to have with the politics of the war and what's going on. But yeah, it's
Fairness to Marta, she gets asked a lot of questions by the journalist, and then she's forced to comment on it, and then there's headlines. I kind of
Forced.
understand what. Well, there is, and a lot of the questions come about the Russian players, which I don't. I think that's where I get a little put off, where she's having a crack at the Russian players for not standing up and saying more stuff against their own country. It's kind of like, well,
Self-preservation,
they can't,
obviously.
they
Like,
can't really
everyone's
do
gonna,
that.
yeah, they're going to
You
look
do
out for
that in
themselves.
China, you do that in Russia. Yeah, it's not good. So, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying, Chris, but at the same time, I think she feels like it's her platform to remind people about what's still going on over there.
Yeah,
But you're
well,
entitled to your opinion.
I guess so.
Uh,
it is an
yes,
absolute
Adrian.
mouth-watering semi-final though. Kostyuk and Andreeva.
So who's winning it, Adrian?
For that's the final in my eyes. I'm not really too fussed with that top draw. I feel like Sabalenka is going to cruise her way into the final, and
She
then
is.
face.
Like
Yeah,
Paul.
I think if Andreeva meets Sabalenka in the final, Sabalenka's winning. If Marta makes that final, Marta's winning.
The
I
tension
don't
of that
think
final.
Marta's.
Holy hell.
Oh yeah, yeah. The speeches. Can you just imagine the speeches at the end?
Oh, well, there'll be no handshaking.
No, definitely not.
It'll be a spectacle in itself.
Will be. And just for that, I'm going for a Kostyuk win.
I like it. Her form is hard to argue
can't
with.
argue with form.
She can't argue with form. She's undefeated on clay this season. She is unstoppable. Did you catch the match last night, Chris?
For Andreeva,
The Kostiuk Svitolina, sorry, match.
I did not. No, I missed it.
Okay.
It was the early one, wasn't it? By the time I turned it on, it was like kind of finished.
No, it was a later match, I
was it
think.
later?
Yeah. Her playing style reminds me a lot of Maria Sharapova. The very lanky, long limbs, big serve, big ball toss. She gives herself a lot of room on the forehand and backhand. She plays with that explosive power. It just reminded me a lot of Maria Sharapova just watching her. When it's on, it's really good, but it fell apart a bit in that second set, and she just couldn't control the points as much. So she's playing really, really well at the moment, and she's potentially got the power game to take on someone like Sabalenka. And even Andreeva, who was, mate, it was one's 18, one's 36. They were playing roles reversed because it was the 18-year-old with all the power in Andreeva. She was just bullying Castella last night. I'm going to go Kostiuk as well, Adrian, for the record. I think you can't argue with form. And for the theatrics of the final that's going to ensue.
Yeah.
We'll talk about quickly who she'll be facing in the final. There'll be 2 quarterfinals. One of those is happening right as we speak. Chris, you got a live score update for us?
I do. The poll is set up, and 5-2 in the second but she's facing
Wow.
breakpoint. But as we know, breakpoints are quite common in the women's game. So um, I'd expect the pole in Cholinskia to take it out.
Qualifier, third Grand Slam. She's gone this far, and it looks like she's going to make a semi-final after all that. 5-3 at the moment. The other quarterfinal, Adrian, Sabalenka and Schneider. This is the heavyweight clash of the night. World number one, Arena Sabalenka, is the last top 5 seed left in the draw and the only woman in action today who's already reached the slam semi-final. She's looked pretty much unstoppable this whole tournament. She beat one of Chris's favourites, Naomi Osaka, for the third time this season to reach the last 8. The 4-time major champion is chasing a piece of history, having never won a slam off hard courts. And as last year's Roland Garros runner-up, she's well placed to put that right. She's also the first player since Serena Williams to reach 14 straight Grand Slam quarterfinals. Standing in her way is the aggressive left-hander Diana Schneider, the 25th seed, into her first major quarterfinal, who saw off Madison Keys in the 4th round. They've never played, and for Schneider, it would comfortably be the biggest win of her career. Adrian, how are you seeing these matchups play out tonight? One of them's already halfway through, but is it a foregone conclusion, do you think?
I think so. That speaks for itself. 14 straight Grand Slam quarterfinals. That's absolutely
pretty impressive.
It is very impressive. It's hard to argue with that. I can't see her not making the final. Fair play to Schneider as well. She's done well. Fair play, but I think Sabalenka's experience and quality will show and take her to the final, in which she'll lose to Kostyuk anyway. So there you go.
We got your prediction. Chris, are you in the same boat?
Sabalenka Andreeva final though, and I can only hope that Andreeva topples Sabalenka. But yeah, that's my prediction. But I wanted to ask you, Adam, how do you feel that the tournament has gone in general? Like, obviously, there's been a lot of upsets, good for viewing, good for just unpredictability in general. But have you been pleased from what you've seen at Roland Garros?
I've been pleased watching all the upsets. I think it's been awesome to see Sinner lose early in the tournament and bow out, because it's opened the draw right up. What I haven't been happy about is the shit show that is the French Open and Roland Garros, because it's been an absolute fucking disaster zone, if you ask me. So if you wouldn't mind, I've got some choice words.
Please, I'm all ears.
Are you all ears? It's meant to be a Grand Slam, Roland Garros and the French Open, but it looks like the Sunday Social Club at Talkn Tennis Club, Court 11. That's no offence to Court 11. Let's start with those fucking tarps. I am sick of looking at those tarps. They're rain covers. At a Grand Slam in 2026, you got players getting taken out by folded up sheeting at the back of the court. Alexander Blocks hurt his ankle snap while practicing, tripping over one of those bloody tarps, and he pulls out of the second round match against Alex de Minaur before he even hit a ball. He's talking to his lawyers at the moment. Ridiculous. And unfortunately, this wasn't even a freak one-off incident. The same thing happened to David Goffin way back in 2017. And everyone's favourite commentator, Jim Curry, has been screaming about this one for years. So I don't get it. I don't know why they're there. If it's not raining, just put them away. And if you don't know if it's going to rain or not, get your phone, this thing, open the fucking weather app, and if you can see it's going to be 35 degrees and sunny every day for a week, then put the fucking tarps away. You don't need them there. And if you do need to have them there, and they are there, can you actually fold them up neatly at the back of the court? Because when you look at them, they look like a fucking 12-year-old kid's unmade bed in the morning. They're just scruffy. They're everywhere. You're all over the place. You've got ball kids standing over there and trying to fucking avoid them. Speaking of ball kids, you got a 12-year-old girl who's tripping over the tarp, trying to get out of the way of Rafa Yotta as he's walking off the court. And because of mistaken camera angle, everyone thinks that Rafa Yotta's pushed some ball girl over. So because of your stupid tarps, you've caused this whole bloody controversy with Rafa Yotta. Even Chris thought he pushed the ball girl over. So, yeah, that pissed me off. Get rid of the tarps or fold them up neatly at the back of the court. It's really fucking annoying. But speaking of annoying, Lacoste signage, those tiny little advertising boards sitting virtually in the field of play. Why are they so far forward from the back of the court? They look like trouble. Well, unfortunately, they were trouble. Chris's girl, Zainab Sonmez, ran one down in a doubles match, went face first into the fence, 2 stitches, bruised knee, out of the tournament. Awesome. The crazy part, Katie Bolter, the day before, hit the very same board and then put out a tweet on Twitter saying these things have to go. 2 in 2 days. You had a warning, didn't heed it, and then somebody got hurt and had to forfeit the doubles match. That's pathetic. Why are they 1.5 meters out from the back of the court? I don't understand. What is it with the French Open having shit on the court? We're trying to minimise the stuff that's actually on the court for the players' safety and for the players' welfare. My favourite, though, Adrian, the line calling. Every other slam uses electronic calls or Hawkeye. Wimbledon came last year. It's mandatory on the ATP Tour now. It's even at Monte Carlo, Madrid, and Rome. Roland Garros, though? No. Not on Roland Garros. We don't use technology. Fuck that. Let's have the chair umpire climb down a ladder and argue with a player about which scuff mark in the dirt is the right fucking mark of the last point we made. That seems like a totally professional way of going about these things. Unfortunately, though, Chris, we don't have a governing body that's in charge of tennis. We've got the ATP, we've got the WTA, we've got the ITF, we've got the Grand Slams who do their own thing. But if we did, maybe one day we will have a governing body, they would be asking some serious questions about Roland Garros and their Grand Slam status. And if it were up to me, I'd be demoting this shit heap of a tournament to an ATP and WTA 500 event, and we'd be sitting here talking about the Madrid Grand Slam because, quite frankly, it's an amateur organisation and an amateur tournament, and it needs to get booted the fuck out. Welcome to my TED Talk.
Wow. That's a clap.
Sickens me. Amateur hour, everywhere you look. I can't deal with amateur shit.
Yeah. Well, that
The line calling, Casper Ruud, cost Ruud a set. Chris, you told the story. You were watching it.
It's pretty much in the first set.
Second set, wasn't it? He should have won that second. He should have won that second set against Fonseca from memory.
The tiebreaker, yeah.
He's like, it got called. First of all, some idiot French person from the fucking crowd yells that out. They all stop. He looks at it. Umpire comes down. She looks at the wrong mark. How can you tell that we've all played on clay? Me and Chris used to play on clay every fucking Tuesday. There's marks everywhere. You don't know what's what. It's all guesswork, particularly at the back of the court. I don't get it. The technology's right there.
The technology said it was in as well. That's the whole beauty of it, and it's a sad state of affairs for French Open.
The whole tournament's been a shit. It's been an absolute amateur hour shit show. Emily Maresmo, shit player, shit coach, shit tournament director. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, well said.
Thank you.
Nothing else.
Thank you.
Nothing else more needs to be mentioned.
Absolutely not.
Do you agree? Maybe not the demotion bit, but do you agree it's a bit amateur hour, or am I being over the top?
I think there's surely a better way to store those tubs. Why not have like a box or something, whatever, something that they're stored in with a lid or something that's like out of the way, not like some rolled up heap of fucking mess.
Yeah, we need it to be very messy at the back of the court because that's part of the aesthetics. It's like it's like cricket where they've got cricket's got the covers for the pitch. Yeah, they don't leave them half on the fucking field for the fielder to run past. No, they're off the field and they bring them on when they need them. I don't get it.
I can recall Wimbledon because they have the tarps obviously ready to go. It rains frequently over there, but they have their tarps rolling across the court
on the
horizontal.
Side.
Yeah,
yes.
Horizontally.
There's some fucking common sense.
I feel like that's less of a hazard that won't be trampled on from ball boys and players, obviously going up and down from the baseline and back of the court. So that's a solution. But even like what you said, if check the weather. If no rain is forecasted, you don't need to have them out. Or
you don't need them.
Fucking roll them up properly. But yeah, so many times we've seen them just look like a shit show. It's just a mess. So easy fixes, but they neglect, and it doesn't
France
look
is
good
fucked,
for
mate.
them.
Paris on fire last week. The only redeeming feature of France is Arthur Fees at this point. Otherwise, maybe Kwame as well. I like that kid. That was a good match.
Mm.
Yeah, they should be demoted, honestly. I wouldn't even put him to 1,000. Straight to 500. It's the only way they're going to learn. They can work their way back up.
Yeah. For the viewers, Adam's extra salty because he's an Arsenal fan. So,
Yeah, worth mentioning.
yeah.
Jeez, imagine what they would have done to the city had they lost. Unbelievable.
Oh,
I am salty. PSG can get fucked. Yeah, it's just they're going nowhere, France, at the moment. Absolutely going nowhere. Their tennis players are shit, except for Fees and Kwame, but going nowhere. Chris, I did want to ask you, I mentioned her name before. I think it would be remiss not to mention that Serena Williams is making a stunning return to professional tennis. We talked about this back in January. This is no shock to Talkn Tennis
Episode
podcast
3.
listeners. Disagree? Me and Adrian said she's coming back, mate. You don't go in the drug testing pool for nothing.
that's right.
Chris, it's been nearly 4 years since she last played competitively, which was the 2022 US Open. 44 years of age. She's accepted a wildcard to play women's doubles at the Queen's Club in London, the grass court WTA event that serves as a Wimbledon warm-up that gets underway on June 6th. She'll partner young Canadian Victoria Mboko for her comeback, choosing the doubles arena, one of the sport's most iconic grass venues, to begin what she's called, Chris, her next chapter. Chris, here's your turn for a rant. What do you think about this comeback and next chapter?
I can only hope and I can only pray it's short and it's brief and it's painful to watch and painful for her to play. I mean, wasn't she a big advocate for Ozempic and all these weight loss drugs? And
She's on a commercial.
Aren't they? I'm sure that'd be on the WADA prohibited drugs list. You can't be taking that and...
No,
Is
they're
it performance
diabetes
enhancing?
pills. They're diabetes medication.
Mm.
They're just a
but-
variant of diabetes medication. Mate, Zverev's
Yeah.
been on the Ozempic since birth, mate.
He's a diabetic, and he's not on Ozempic, you moron. He's on just straight up insulin. Anyway,
I know, I was joking. But Ozempic is a variant for... It's like a diabetes medication that's now been turned into a weight loss wonder drug.
yeah, is she a diabetic though? And probably not.
No,
And-
everyone's taking it for weight loss.
Yeah, we know that. But anyway, I'd like to know if it's on the wider prohibited drug list. But we put that off to the side.
Message WADA.
We want to be talking about how well she's going to perform. Oh, look, if your memories are good, you can remember my stance on it. I said it's going to be terrible, and I'm going to stand by that comment and say she will be no good. She'll do better than Venus. I don't think anyone could do worse than that as far as comebacks go. But yeah, it'll be brief and very concise, her comeback, and hopefully it's all done in the space of a couple months. So not even good luck. Just yeah, just
Good riddance.
Go make a fool of yourself.
If you want to hear one of Chris's epic rants, just go back to some early episodes in January and February where he was just shit-canning all the players making returns. What about you, Adrian? You excited for Serena's comeback tour? John Farnham, farewell
I
comeback
remember
tour.
having a different stance at the time, kind of in defence. I don't know. I think my stance has changed. I think just leave it for the people who are there. Have given it a crack. I don't know. I don't really care enough to have an opinion on this, to be honest. If I'm, being truthful.
Fair enough. So you're gonna watch it on your Talkn Tennis subscription, lifetime, all-time subscription.
No, ditto, Chris. I just hope it is short-lived and we can all move on with our lives and focus on, on the players that are actually playing.
Alrighty.
Score check though.
Ooh,
Game's
thank you.
done. GG's. Trolinska
It is
Has-
finished.
got the job done. 7-6, 6-3. Score update.
Live updates,
Yep.
live score
On the
updates
Chemist
here on
Warehouse
Talkn Tennis.
scoreboard.
Yep.
I
I
thought
had to
Dr.
change my
Snip was
stream.
still our sponsor for this
Dr.
week
Snip scoreboard.
on the
I
Dr.
had
Snip
to change the
scoreboard.
stream because the match ended and I had to put on the soccer and Sunshine Coast is winning 7-0 against some team, so I thought this might be a fun match to watch.
Queensland Premier League,
Oh, don't
all
spoil
over
it for
it.
me.
I was going to watch a replay after this, Chris. Jeez. Congratulations to the young Pole there. Semi-final appearance. Hell of an achievement. All right, we don't want to talk about Serena. Let's move on. Lads, I was going to touch just very quickly on our fantasy teams. Just more to give a shout out to Chris, who's sitting 10th in the league at the moment. Probably should be 9th. I think there's a bit of an issue with the scores with the guy who's on top of our league. Apparently there's a bug in the fantasy team. But shout out to Chris. 10th probably goes up to 9th on the Talkn Tennis League. 74 teams, so good job there. Yours truly sitting at 18th after a very slow start of the year. And Adrian, I found you all the way down near the bottom,
55.
55th. 55 out of 74. Not good.
Someone's got to do the hard yards down the bottom of down the order, boys.
Yeah. Well, we
Someone's got to
appreciate
keep them in check.
we appreciate your work down there.
You've got to show that
just
they're
ahead.
one with the commoners.
Maybe you are. Me and Chris aren't. With the royalty at the top. Just to shout out the grass season swing. Chris, the tournaments don't stop, mate. There's no time off here at tennis. You've got 4 days, 12 hours, and 41 minutes to lock in your team for week 7. 2 tournaments next week, 1 in Germany, or 2 in Germany by the look of it. Schedules are out, fixtures are out. Time to load up on your grass players. So just a shout out to everybody who plays along in our league to get your teams in before the start of the grass season. One thing I did find out, lads, is the obviously your players go up in value and go down in value throughout the season. Your value holds true. So if I sold all my players right now, I've got 112 in the kitty to play with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I didn't realise. I just assumed we would all reset to 100 for new season swing, but apparently we don't. You also get 8 free switches, so effectively you can change up your team completely for the new season. But I have, if I sell all my players right now, 112 coins to play with. So just a heads up as well, because I didn't realise that. So everything you've done to this point actually does matter moving forward.
Of course. Yes.
Chris, I won't put you on the spot, but next week I am going to ask you who you're liking for the grass season and some players to keep an eye on for the swing. Unless you've got a name for me now or two.
I don't have a name, but I also have a long-term strategy, but I won't disclose just yet. But yeah, we'll stay tuned for that in the next coming weeks. A real long-term play because I want those ATP finals tickets.
Okay. And for the 9 teams who finished above Chris in the Talkn Tennis League, just send me your name and address to talkntennis@gmail.com and you'll get Alcaraz's strings from Chris's first draw as well. I don't know what they sound like because we still haven't got that ASMR clip. Chris still hasn't worked out what ASMR is. So, yeah, congratulations to the 9 teams who have finished above Chris in this clay season swing. Round of applause. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Chris. Lads, if we didn't have anything else, I think it's time we move on to everyone's favourite segments. It is Battle of the Spuds.
Good.
Very good, very good. Today's edition of Battle of the Spuds will be, of course, Roland Garros edition. Back to multiple choice. 4 answers, the traditional quiz, 6 questions, and we will, of course, end it with everyone's favourite segment, the Who Am I segment. Adrian leads the 2026 Battle of the Spuds 11 points to 6. Chris, I said it last week, you need to win desperately. I'm going to double down on that one tonight. You really need to win. You lose tonight, you're pretty much half of Adrian's score. So you got to lift your game.
All right.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
And I can, and you know my strategy. I'm going to go hard. I'm going to go early. All right, because that's just the way I like to go with things. Okay, so I'm going for glory for the who am I. That's all I care about. I don't care about the others. I
He's
care about
coming in
who am I.
strong.
I'm going to beat 8 words. I'm going to try and do it in 5.
Crazy. Last week's debacle. Yeah, it was a world record. World record buzz in last week. Go back and listen to the Who Am I from last week. Chris literally off about 6 words buzzed in. So, yes, it was very amusing. He didn't get it right, of course, which just gifted Adrian the win. Lads,
Yep.
are we ready? Please open your chat boxes if you don't have them open already. Chris, I can't see your chat box open. If you could please open that would be fantastic. Oh, it is open. Thank you. Very good. I can see it open now. Alrighty, gentlemen, ready?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we're ready.
Let's jump in. Question 1. Jannik Noah is the last Frenchman to win Roland Garros on home soil. Who did he beat in the 1983 final? Is it A, Ivan Lendl, B, Jimmy Connors, C, Mats Wilander, or D, John McEnroe? Jannik Noah is the last Frenchman to win Roland Garros on home soil. Who did he beat in the 1983 final? A, Lendl, B, Connors, C, Wilander, D, McEnroe. Adrian locks in B, Jimmy Connors. Chris locks in C, Mats Wilander. One of you is on the board, and that person is Chris. The answer is C, Mats Wilander. That is correct. Well done, Chris, on the board early.
Thank you. I even gave myself the come on before you said it was me as well. That's how confident.
That's how confident he was.
I'm feeling
very good.
Tight. Yep.
You should do all right this quiz, Chris. I tried to tailor it to advantage you to make it interesting. No offense, Adrian. So
Okay.
added pressure.
Fine.
Question 2. Roger Federer famously won his only French Open title in 2009 after Rafael Nadal's early exit. Who did he beat in the final? Is it A, Fernando Gonzalez, B, Juan Martín del Potro, C, Stan Wawrinka, or D, Robin Soderling? Roger Federer famously won his only French Open title in 2009 after Rafael Nadal's early exit. Who did he beat in the final? A, Gonzalez, B, del Potro, C, Wawrinka, D, Soderling. Adrian, what were you thinking, son?
I thought Wawrinka beat Roger. That was my confusion
Yeah,
for his Grand Slam wins.
I mean, Federer's only won
Yeah.
one of these, so he's only beat, only got one winner over these guys in a final. Maybe Federer beat Wawrinka in a final, and then Wawrinka beat him back. That could also be a possibility. That's what Chris thinks, because Chris has locked in C, Wawrinka. Adrian's locked in D, Soderling. The answer was D, Robin Soderling. He made final, Chris, and fell. You asked me, Robin Soderling, at his absolute best tennis, Chris, probably one of the best clay quarters I've ever seen in my life.
We're not having this conversation.
If you just take that small sample size, just that small sample, and just extrapolate that out for the end of days, definitely Robin Soderling is the man. No, let's not go there.
I'm not taking the bait. All right.
It's another episode in itself. At least Soderling made a Grand Slam final.
Sort of
Question-
curious,
Can't
you
let it
fucking twat.
We'll have to address the we'll have to address it on the pod before
next
before
week.
we leave.
Let the poll on Reddit finish, and then we'll address it.
Okay.
Give me a topic for next week, Adrian. We can have a live
Okay.
debate. Question 3. Novak Djokovic completed his career Grand Slam at Roland Garros in 2016. Who did he defeat in that final? Was it A, Dominic Thiem, B, Stan Wawrinka, C, Kaya Nishikori, or D, Andy Murray? Novak Djokovic completed his career Grand Slam at Roland Garros in 2016. Who did he defeat in that final? A, Thiem, B, Wawrinka, C, Nishikori, D, Murray. You've both locked in Stan Wawrinka. You're both incorrect. The answer is D, Andy Murray. I thought you would get that one. Don't know why.
It's my second choice.
Murray's
the
had
most
a lot of
Coulda, woulda.
chances here, mate. 3 questions down, scores are tied, 1 apiece. We roll on to question 4. Who is the last French woman to win the singles title at Roland Garros? Is it A, Emily Mauresmo? Is it B, Virginie Rizano? C, Mary Pierce? Or D, Marion Bartoli? Who is the last French woman to win the singles title at Roland Garros? A, Mauresmo, B, Rizano, C, Pierce, D, Bartoli.
Are you trying to... Did Bartoli even win one? Was Pierce even French? Well, she must have been.
I fucking
There
hope
you go.
so.
Mary Pierce.
Imagine I put somebody on there who wasn't even French.
Oh,
Giving you a free ride. Can confirm French. Can confirm was a bit of a looker too. Chris has locked in C, Mary Pierce. Adrian going with the woman who he thinks never won a Grand Slam, Marion Bartoli. Pretty sure she didn't win a Grand Slam, Age, and she didn't win this one. The answer is C, Mary Pierce. I was just trying to find French women players, whether they won one or not.
yeah.
Mary Pierce, year 2000, I believe. My notes didn't transfer across here, but yes, the last French woman to win a Grand Slam was.
Did
Mary
Mauresmo
Pierce.
win... oh, geez, I thought Mauresmo would have won after 2000. No?
I don't believe so. No,
Wow.
no. I don't know if she won it before 2000, but no.
Hey,
Definitely
Adam,
not after.
Oh, you missed the tops, Adam.
Oh my god! I can. Are you watching wheelchair tennis on your Talkn Tennis lifetime
Doubles.
all-time subscription?
Doubles wheelchair tennis.
Oh my god! Are the tarps getting in the way of the doubles tennis?
They would be.
Imagine rolling
They
into
would be.
that.
Mate,
What's
need
entertaining
4x4.
from here, Chris? For all our audio viewers, just go on Spotify video or go on YouTube. You'll see above Chris's right shoulder, as always, he's got live tennis going. And there's doubles wheelchair tennis going on at the moment and some tarps at the back of the court that really shouldn't be there at all. They seem like a hazard. The ball kids literally got to avoid them after every point. It makes no sense. Adrian, I don't know what I dislike more, the tarps or Nick Kyrgios. I haven't decided yet.
I think I'm just waiting for one of the people in the wheelchair to fall over the top.
They're fucking going to roll, or they're going to stack it on the tarp, I reckon. Then I can add it to my
Look,
rant.
he hit the sign. He hit the sign. He rolled.
Oh my god.
His wheel hit the sign.
I wish you were making this up, people. One of these poor wheelchair players has just rolled into one of those Lacoste fucking signs. What are they doing there? Get them out of the way. Do these people not know how to run a tournament? Do they just lack
He's
common
putting it up.
sense?
He's putting it up.
Just talk us through what's going on, please.
Well, the wheelchair player was the moonballing it, as you could imagine, and he's backing out to the back of the court. He's run over the sign, and the point's finished, and the linesman has just put the sign back up and dusting off the clay, and make sure the Lacoste sign is nice and clean.
Sorry, it's embarrassing. You get more professionalism at fucking Royal Park Tennis Club, Chris. A tournament that's held there every year. I mean, honestly.
All right, let's continue. We've digressed. That was a good side
It's a good
quest.
digression. By my count, Chris, you lead 2-1 after 4 questions. So go you. Question 5. They get harder from here. Question 5. Roland Garros was a World War I fighter pilot, but what was the specific reason the stadium was named after him in 1928? Was it A, he was a keen tennis fan who helped fund the stadium? B, he was a former Davis Cup player who died in combat? C, a friend of Garros from business school lobbied to have the stadium named after him? Or D, he was the first person to fly over the site where the stadium was built? I'll read that one again for you, Adrian. Roland Garros was a World War I fighter pilot, but
I need to hear it. I want to hear it.
Roland Garros be rolling in his grave at the state of his tournament named after him, especially after that wheelchair debacle. Roland Garros was a World War One fighter pilot, but what was the specific reason the stadium was named after him in 1928? A, he was a keen tennis fan who helped fund the stadium. B, he was a former Davis Cup player who died in combat. C, a friend of Garros from business school lobbied to have the stadium named after him. D, he was the first person to fly over the site where the stadium was built. Adrian thinks he was a former Davis Cup player who died in combat. Chris thinks a friend of Garros from business school lobbied to have the stadium named after him. Chris, you've done your homework. The answer is C, friend of Garros. Businessman. I've got his name written down somewhere. Businessman, he was in charge of rugby or something. He was a friend of Garros from business school, and he lobbied to have the stadium named after him. Garros had no connection to tennis whatsoever. He was a pioneering pilot, and it was purely his status as a national war hero that got him the honour. So there you go. And he'd be pissed off at the current state.
Hasn't changed now, hasn't changed then, hasn't changed now. Politics, man. It's who you know, not what you know.
That's it. He wasn't even a fan of tennis.
I heard he hated tennis.
What an asshole. A joke.
I'm a fan of Roland. I like Roland. I like Roland's style. Mate, it'll be Lacoste Stadium in a couple of years, don't worry. Chris, you lead 3-1 with one question to go. Adrian badly needs this one to stay in it. But he's always got the Who Am I segment later on. That's where he shines. That's where he does his best work. Last question, question 6. In what year did Roland Garros become the first Grand Slam to offer equal prize money to both men and women? Was it A, 1978, B, 1987, C, 2007, or D, 2017? What year did we get equal rights of pay for both the men and the women? A, 1978, B, 1987, C, 2007, or D, 2017? Have you both locked in C?
No.
I went C.
Chris? Oh, sorry, that was your old answer. That's why I was checking. Adrian has locked in C, 2007. Chris has locked in B, 1987. The answer is C, 2007. Roland Garros. One thing they did right, I guess, or wrong, depending on how you want to look at it, led the way on equal pay by a significant margin. Wimbledon and the US Open followed shortly after. The Australian Open didn't fully equalise until years later. The French Open has long prided itself on being the most progressive of the 4 slams, and that's why it's a shit heap of a fucking tournament. So congratulations. Well done.
Progressive.
Don't see any women cramping, just rolling into fucking Lacoste signs. That's fantastic. Hopefully they get sued. Sorry, Chris. Just French Opens piss me off. It's just angered me watching it.
No, please, by all means, go on. No one's going to stop you.
It angered me and made me happy at the same time, somehow. Mixed emotions. Chris leads 3-2. Goes in with a 1-point lead. Will he use that lead going into the Who Am I? Remember, the Who Am Is, they start hard on 5 points. If you jump in, you get it right, get 5 points. Goes down to 4, to 3, to 2, to 1. It gets easier as we roll along. But, of course, you don't want to sit and wait too long. You want to jump in when you know the answer. Chris has that 1-point lead. He desperately needs to win today's
My plan
Battle
is
of the
to
Spuds.
wait for Chris to bow out on.
It's a good plan.
After he clocks in the 5-pointer, which he'll
Blows
miss,
his pants
and then
early.
I'll wait until it's 1 point, so we come out even for a lark. That's my plan.
He won't even go for the 2. Normally, what's happened the last few weeks, you've been in front, so you've just had to sit there and hold off to the end. So don't forget, you need 2 for the win, Adrian. But yes, Chris loves the early jump. Gentlemen, we ready? Your names are your buzzers. Yell your name really loudly once you know the answer. Once you think you know the answer. In the case of Chris.
What have you two done? You two have been conspiring against me.
This guy's paranoid.
I would-
Have you ever... How much weed have you smoked?
Adrian, I would
Cons-
not. Chris
Fucking
losing.
conspirators.
Adrian, Chris losing and continuing to lose and continuing to lose is just fantastic pod content for me because I love it. It's hilarious.
Adrian, I've got
the bigger
I've
the
got, I've got I've got one name in mind, and I'm just hoping it just aligns itself. And if it does, I'm going in. If it doesn't, I'm fucked.
I can't think
So-
of anyone that was topical, so yeah, I'm a bit screwed. Yeah.
there's always someone who's topical, Adrian, in the talk tennis sphere, talking tennis world.
I've just thought about Adam, what he's been posting on Reddit, and I think that's been in his mind, and then that's what I'm going with. So
Right, no.
anyway,
You gotta follow me closer on Reddit, Adrian. No, Adrian, I would not conspire. The bigger the gap, the funnier it is for me.
yeah.
For 5 points, I grew up in Tempoli, a suburb in the southern outskirts of Buenos Aires, where I learned to play tennis at the local lawn tennis club from the age of 6. As a kid, I also played football and rugby, but tennis eventually won out. Not for glory, but out of necessity. When I was 14, my father suffered a serious heart attack that put his life at risk, and it was at that moment that pushed me to commit fully to tennis as a way to help provide for my family. Like many of my generation in Argentina, I had no financial backing from the National Tennis Association and had to take out loans to fund my early career on the challenger circuit. For 4 points, my childhood hero in tennis was Boris Becker, but by the time I turned professional in 1996, I was flying solo with no idol to follow. I finished 1996 as Argentina's second-ranked junior and turned professional that same year, scraping my way through the challenger circuit, finishing 1997 ranked 639th. Chris, who am I?
Custom cardio.
Well, I am Gaston Cardio. That is correct.
You asshole.
I did the Gadio one this week
You did it.
after
I
last
thought-
week's shit heap.
Oh my god.
For those listeners who didn't catch last week's Who Am I, Chris jumped in after about 5 words and guessed Gaston Gaudio, which was incorrect. It was the Dairy was last week's Who Am I. So I thought this week, let's just do Gaston Gaudio. Chris wants to do it so badly, and I thought he might have Gaudio in his mind. So well done, Chris. Congratulations. You get that at 4 points. Very well played. Very well played.
I'm keen to hear what was the rest.
Oh, well, I can just spiel off the rest, I guess. Sure, for 3 points, the greatest moment of my career came when I was ranked 44th in the world and completely unseeded. During the final of that tournament, I was losing so badly that I screamed at my coach from the court that I wanted to quit, convinced it would have been better to have lost in the first round than suffer this kind of public humiliation. A few hours later, I was in tears on the podium, accepting the trophy from my childhood idol and mentor, who happened to be the last man from that country to win the same title 25 years later. I won 8 ATP titles across my career, every single one on clay, and reached a career high ranking of world number 5 in April 2005. After retirement, I served as Argentina's Davis Cup captain from 2018 to 2021, before being replaced in that role by the very man I had beaten in the most famous match of my life. For 1 point, I'm the Argentinian former world number 5 who won the 2004 French Open Grand Slam final, and one of the most dramatic finals in Grand Slam history, coming from 2 sets down, saving 2 match points and defeating fellow Argentinian to claim the only major title of my career. Who am I? There you
Nice.
go. So there you go, Chris. In 3 weeks, you've learned who Gaston Gaudio is. You didn't even know who he was 3 weeks ago.
I only knew where he was from. That's it.
So there you are. Very good.
Well played.
Congratulations.
Well done.
You're on the boards. You're on the board. It's been a
What's the
long
score?
time. It's been a long drought. 11-7
Yes.
you trail in the 2026 Battle of the Spuds. But you've got to start somewhere. And your comeback starts today.
Yeah. Well,
Do you want,
I'm still going to go with my same strategy and just have the one person in mind and hopefully get it.
who'd you have in mind,
right.
Chris?
Anna Kalinskaya.
Why? Because I've been posting a lot about her on Reddit.
Non-stop. I'm like, this scumbag has got Anna on his mind, and we're going to see a WTA play this week. We had a male last week. So, anyway, she's on my mind. So,
That's for other reasons, but yeah, no. I was just, just got a nice Instagram account, so just follow that and you'll get some nice pics you can post on Reddit.
we'll do.
Well, you can't make her next week's Who Am I, surely.
No, I won't do that. No, I won't do that. Chris, I thought you were going to go down the Zverev or Kyrgios route when
That's
you
what I
said
was thinking.
Reddit. That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
Well, they're two paths completely different, yeah. So the men's path and the women's path. So it just depends.
Fair enough. Adrian, oh, geez, it's very late in the podcast. One of the sort of world
It's
record
very late.
podcasts, but I guess what happens in the French Open. Any parting words for yourself? Any interesting reading material you've been consuming this past week
Yeah, we've
that you'd like to share?
received an update from one of our most loyal fans in Greg. So he has sent me his journal, his blog, kind of like a before he's put it out to the world. He sent it to me, and he's given me permission to read it out.
Wow. It's a Talkn Tennis
So-
exclusive.
This one's called, it is The Final Set. So yes, hey team, Greg here. Writing this from Ohio, back home. Physically anyway. Emotionally, I'm still somewhere between Gate 23 and Fort Lauderdale Airport and Court 4 at Palm Breeze Tennis Club. As you know, things got complicated after the doubles incident, which we all know. Go listen to last week's pod. You will know about what happened.
It was a big incident.
The match collapsed, Derek disappeared, Claire started asking questions, and Samantha and I both knew my flight was approaching. I figured that was it. A great tennis holiday, a few lessons learned, slightly strained hamstring, several moral grey areas, but life, much like a second serve, is unpredictable. It's the night before I left, Samantha messaged me, just 3 words. One last hit. Now, obviously, being a student of the game, I assumed she meant tennis. Reader, she did not mean tennis. We spent the evening together talking about life, relationships, dreams, forehand technique, and whether Hawkeye should be used at local club level. Something you'd be interested in, Adam.
You can't even do it at Roland Garros. You want to do it at Fort Lauderdale Tennis Club?
It was one of those nights where time just disappears, the kind of night where neither of you wants to acknowledge what's coming next. And before I knew it, it was morning. And it was time for me to leave Florida. Samantha insisted on driving me to the airport. The entire trip there felt like one long rain delay. Neither of us wanted to discuss what happened next. At one point she asked, "Do you think we'll ever see each other again?" I responded, "I don't know." Then immediately added, "Depends on tournament scheduling." Wrong thing to say. The mood recovered quickly though. When we eventually got to the terminal, things became emotional. There was a long hug, some lingering eye contact, and then she was gone. Or so I thought. Later that day, I received a text. Apparently, Derek had asked Samantha where she'd been all morning. Without hesitation, she told him she'd been helping Claire move furniture. Furniture? Claire lives in a 1-bedroom apartment. Claire herself later confirmed she'd spent the entire morning eating pancakes. The story made absolutely no sense, yet somehow Derek accepted it immediately. In hindsight, this shouldn't surprise me. This is a man who once watched a 12-second highlight clip and declared he'd seen enough. So now I'm home, I'm back at work. HR has already scheduled a meeting regarding my leave. Nobody in Ohio understands what I've been through. And meanwhile, somewhere in Florida, Samantha is carrying on as normal, while Derek remains blissfully unaware that his biggest rival spent a week living inside what can only be described as a romantic, unforced error. I don't know what happens next, but I do know this. Some holidays change you, some holidays improve your tennis. And some holidays leave you wondering whether Derek from Florida is eventually going to figure out what's been going on. If he does, I'm sure I'll hear about it. Until next time, you got to earn your serves. Greg.
Wow. He went home.
So-
I can't believe it. I can't believe he went home.
He's back home. Yes. I'm keen to see what HR have to say about his extended trip.
Did he just take leave unapproved or something? What's going on?
Well, they advised him to take it after his shenanigans
Yeah,
in the
they
fact.
told me to
Yeah.
leave. Now you're not happy.
Well, I think he extended it. Whether he was
Oh,
granted permission for that.
hmm.
But aside from that, thank you to all of our US viewers. As always, they come in strong, and particularly up there in Hawaii, a few new listeners.
That's a new one.
Strong tennis culture in Hawaii there.
Oh yeah, mate. All happening in Hawaii Tennis Club. Yeah, I think there's a
That's it
few
from me,
thousand
boys.
streams
Yeah,
from Hawaii last week. Yeah, it was good.
just
Top of the
yeah,
usual Utah,
fucking
Virginia.
Malibu, riding the fucking waves, fucking AirPods in, sick cunts.
Adrian, as always, thank you for the updates.
A pleasure.
Shout out to our US listeners. Chris, any parting words you'd like to say to your legions of fans on your X account? That's x.com/Talkn Tennis Podcast as well if you want to follow Chris's antics on X.
Nothing from me. I've got nothing more I need to say.
You said
I'll leave
enough.
it all with you. I've said enough. I'll leave it with you, Animal. Finish it off.
It's 9:47 p.m. where we are in our time zone right now. Chris has had enough. He's like, I got school in the morning. I'm back this week.
Yeah.
He's
Can you
back.
hurry up and wrap this podcast up, Chris? Adam, that's me, the animal. So I will wrap it up. It's been a long podcast for me as well. Thank you to everybody who's made it this far to the podcast. If you're still here, well, that's definitely on you at this point, but we appreciate your support. Help us out by leaving us a 5-star review on Spotify or by following us on any one of the 1,000 different streaming platforms that we're on. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Buzzsprout, Music Bee, Hinge, Bumble, Buzzsprout again, all the other platforms out there that we're on, and even the ones I just made up. We'll catch you next week for more tennis talk. Good evening and good night.